Welcome back to the Spiritual Lounge with Courtney
and Nina
and Oliver. Today we want to talk a little bit about like self-love and, obviously as we go through the month of February with Valentine's Day and all of these things coming up, we want to kind of acknowledge, maybe how you feel if you're single or if you're dating or married, and maybe the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and a little bit more of taking time for yourself and loving yourself a little bit more and dive into that a little bit deeper. Yeah. So, what are your kind of thoughts on the grass isn't always greener?
Kind of funny you should say that because my mom, she plays mahjong with some friends on a weekly basis. Yeah. And a conversation that came up with them is some people were kind of regretting their love lives.
Really?
Yeah. And so my mom...
In what way?
Several of them had mentioned like they should have just stayed with their high school sweetheart.
Interesting.
And kind of what my immediate reaction to that was like, I really think that's a grass is greener on the other side. Like, there's a reason you broke up with someone. Yeah. Even if it was like decades ago, there's a reason. And sometimes memories are a funny thing.
You romanticize it so much. 100%. Oh my gosh.
And just some of the things my mom doesn't regret that, but like she was telling me some other stories of like some of the other women talking. And to me, because it just really hit me as like, I don't think that would have been what you even wanted if you didn't stay with somebody, and I think this time of year can bring up some of that energy of like, well,
where's my
at
person?
Least I would have been with someone.
Yes.
And it's like, right, but you broke up with them for a reason. Yes. And being with the wrong person is not better than being alone.
100%. And I think people probably have an issue sometimes.
Oh, totally. And there's a lot of pressure on women in society too. And there's still kind of certain belief systems that there might be something wrong with you if you're single. Oh. That's a huge one.
It's always the worst when you go to like, and this is like a horrible example for this, I will quantify, like years ago when my grandpa passed away, they'd always go up to me and my sister and be like, so are you dating anyone? I know. What's happening in your career? Have you found anyone? And I'm like, stop asking. The value of me is not based on like who I found. Yeah. I was like so offended by it, and I was okay, I get it. Like I get where you're coming from. Like, are you but just ask me, are you happy? Yeah. Are you fulfilled? Like,
I know.
And that's what you're trying to do.
And it's interesting because some older generations still completely link your worth as a woman to who you're married to.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah, because we all know people too who on the outside have this perfect relationship, and then we come to find out years or decades later that it was horrendous. So this idea that that's still like such a pressure is interesting, and I just thought it was unique that the kind of comment was, oh, I shouldn't have tried to look for something better. I should have just settled for. Because that was kind of where that conversation went into. Was like, oh, I thought I could find someone better, so I left that relationship, and now I regret doing it. But it's like. But there's so much to say about that for sure. Yeah. But it's interesting that it's like that should be coming up for people.
Yeah, I think as you talk about this even more, I think about the times when I was single, when I was dating, and now that I'm married, and it's so funny because when you first said like the grass isn't always greener, I internally laughed a little bit because I thought about like when I was single, I was so selfish, like in the best way though, like. I'm talking
it
like,
worked out.
It did. And I still bring some of that in like a healthy way into this, where I'm like, all right, before bed, I'm going to turn off the TV. I'm going to read some. I'm going to do these things that make me feel better, help me sleep better. Like that's what I mean by being selfish. Yeah. And I think, I used to have like this huge night routine, and I'm like, okay, parent it back now. Like, we got family. And I'm like, I can only imagine having kids is going to totally throw a wrench. But that's what I mean is like people think like, oh my God, it's just so amazing when you're married. It just changes everything. And it can be, yes. Right person, amazing. And it is. But you still sometimes lose out on some of those things of yourself. And so I think just like pause. And if you're single, it's totally fine. Like it's fun.
You're the married one.
Yeah.
I'm the single one. Yeah. I'm having the time of my life right now.
Same, but you can have fun both ways.
It is. And like, I don't know, you just like life is right now. It's not in the past and it's not in the future. Not to say we're not working towards things in the future and, you know, releasing things that we may be dragging around from the past. Yes, we're doing all that. Yeah. But like this is your life right now. Like, why not just have the best time you can right now, regardless of what happens and regardless of, you know,
the circumstances
moving forward, because we don't know everything and we're not supposed to know everything either.
And I also want to say, like, it is completely fine to think back to your high school sweetheart or your college sweetheart, 100%. Or whoever it is, and be like, oh, I wonder what our life would have been like. Yes. And envision it and romanticize it. That's fine to do for a moment.
You don't want to get stuck in that.
But you don't want to, like, reach back out to that.
Exactly.
Hey, what you up to? Yeah. You know, kind of thing. Just, like, acknowledging, like, and it's okay to, like, pause in the moment and kind of, like, reflect.
And also, one thing I would like to say. Yeah. I think we need to stop romanticizing men that we knew like decades ago or something.
They're completely different people.
Why are we thinking that this person would have been so phenomenal and we're wrong for saying no to it?
I know.
What are we doing? I'm sorry.
Well, because it's like
just as like
you have no idea who they are now. It's like you have this vision.
Why are you assuming that you're the one in the wrong for wanting something different or wanting more, and that you should have just gone with this guy because this would have been great,
or a safe option?
Yeah, like. What are we doing with
I know.
This is such a weird thing.
I was just telling her, like, I had this conversation with someone this week, and they were talking about, oh my gosh, I dated this guy, he's my high school sweetheart, we got married, and it was like 20 years of just misery. Yeah. And I finally got out of it, and da-da-da-da, and I just kind of paused, and I was like, internally thinking, you know, I think we all look at this and think, like, what would that life would have been like? What, you know, and people have gone through those things, and I think if you're in it, you know that there's an out, you know, hopefully that people are there to help you and support you and love you. And, you know, there is somebody else out there. But I think just being realistic in the moment and going like, okay, what is it that, you know, am I going to survive through this? Or can I, you know, and so I think just having that moment to be grateful for where you're at in this moment and grateful for, you know, who you're with or loving yourself and no pressure in any of this.
Well, you know, it really reminds me of Abraham Hicks. That's that content where it's like, and I know this is the last thing you want to hear if you're manifesting something or someone, but Abraham always talks about like that it's not about the thing that you're manifesting, it's about the feeling. And where that ties into just this whole conversation is like, even if there's stuff in your life right now that's not where you want it to be, relationship-wise, love-wise, financially, whatever it is, maybe you're not the best version of yourself yet, whatever, like, can't you just have fun along the way? That's what Abraham Hicks says. Like, can't you just, because when you tap into that energy, that's the frequency you're on, and that's more of what you're going to bring in. So, like, you might
enjoy your life.
Yeah, like, what if you never met someone? What if you never changed this about you, changed that about you? Could you still have a good life? Yeah, like, guys, just have some more fun. That's like what I wanted to say.
Yeah, like find fun girlfriends or find fun friends to go and do stuff with, or like we were just talking about with the Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day or Halloween or oh my gosh, I can't speak anymore. All of it. It's like you don't have to have a man. You can do, and people who are married still do like girls' nights. Yeah, like that same week or that same weekend, and do like a whole girls' night.
You're married and we still hang out. Yeah.
But you know, like those kind of things. Like you don't have to just do it in a typical way. Like,
and then also sometimes they will say when you've been trying to manifest something for so long, sometimes you get in a really weird space with it, and you can be putting a bizarre energy on it. True. Your perception can be totally out of whack. Yep. And then you're not seeing anything for what it is. And so you're in a weird place. So when you can just focus on other stuff for a bit, you can like let it balance out more. And you're way more likely to then manifest what it is you want. So we're not saying don't manifest things or you can't have what you want. Yeah. You can, but sometimes when you've been stewing on it for so long or attempting to manifest something for so long, you can end up like putting a really weird energy on it, and it's like just enjoy the moment, relax into it all, and it kind of naturally resets itself. Yeah, exactly. Love it. Yeah. Aw.
Well, thanks for joining us in this piece here.
It's very fun, as always.
I know. Yeah. And yeah, we will see you next week.